What is child custody in Colorado divorce and custody actions? So first of all, what's interesting is in Colorado, we don't use the word custody. We tend to speak of parenting time, which is the children's right or child's right to time with their parent, and parenting responsibilities, which are the responsibilities to make decisions in the best interest of the child regarding education, regarding religious upbringing, regarding extracurricular activities, regarding healthcare. So these are the things that we tend to kind of in shorthand refer to as custody in Colorado. The difference between parenting time and parenting responsibilities in Colorado are really the difference between the question of where will the children be spending their time with which parent at what times and where, versus, and that's parenting time, versus parenting responsibilities, which include who will be making the decisions regarding the children's upbringing, regarding their education, regarding their religious upbringing, regarding extracurricular activities, and regarding their health care. That is called parenting responsibilities. So we divide with whom the children will be spending time with, who's going to be making the important decisions for them in their lives. So one question that we often face is what does joint custody mean? I want joint custody. What is joint custody in Colorado? And the answer is that Colorado both doesn't really have that concept and actually presumes that concept. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's talk about that with parenting time again and parenting responsibility. Regarding parenting time, joint custody usually looks something like some sort of 50-50 parenting time schedule where the child is spending roughly equivalent amount of time with each parent at their residences and during times that make sense for the family based on their schedules. Joint parenting responsibility in Colorado looks something like making decisions together, joint decisions, regarding their child's religious upbringing, regarding the child's education, regarding the child's health care, regarding the child's extracurricular activities, and making those decisions so that both parties, both parents agree as to all the major decisions to be made in those areas. And if they can't agree, then having some mechanism for resolving any disagreements. That's what other people would call joint custody looks like in Colorado, is a split among the parenting time and the parenting responsibilities in an equal or equitable way between both parents. So just like joint custody, another thing that people ask about is sole custody, mostly in the context of, I want sole custody, right? That's the request or the demand that people will come to us seeking. And in Colorado, there is a strong predisposition towards each parent having time with their child, or actually in the way that Colorado likes to think about it, is the child having the ability to spend time with both of the child's parents. That may be equal or equitable, or it might be some other arrangement, but where the child is not completely cut off from one parent or the other. Similarly, with parenting responsibilities, that each parent will participate either jointly in the 4 key areas of parenting decision-making, that being education, religious upbringing, extracurricular activities, and healthcare, or that maybe we'll divide those decisions. One parent does 2, the other parent does 2, or some arrangement like that. And sole custody would be one parent having decision-making as to all things. That is not unheard of, but it is also not usual. In order for a parent to have sole decision-making and or exclusive parenting time, usually either the other parent will have had to abandon their parenting role or have committed some act of violence or some other act that would make the court decide that it is in the best interest of the child not to have any contact right now with that other parent. By now, you've heard the term best interest of the child several times. And you may ask, well, what is that? And the answers are very complex and a little bit vague. So in making decisions, the courts have to find whether things are in the best interest of the child. And for certain decisions, there are actual checklists that ask questions, multiple questions about this aspect of the child's life and that aspect of the child's life. And these questions can be different depending on what the court is trying to decide. But at the end of the day, it's what the court decides is in the best interest of the child, not of the parties. The best interest of the child's growing up, the best interest of the child's education, the best interest of the child being raised in a healthy and happy environment. And quite often it comes down to what parent is able to promote a good and healthy relationship between the child and the other parent. But at the end of the day, the best interest of the child is a subjective test. And the best thing that we can do is to present you, and the best thing that you can do is to make it true that you also have the best interest of the child in mind.